Let's see what the headlines are. Legendary Star Wars studio abruptly closed. Franchise in trouble?
Echo 3 to Echo 7. Tano, buddy.
Echo Station 3PA.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for being here at Echo Base Network, bringing you the latest and greatest, or maybe not the greatest, in Star Wars. Let's talk about it. Ahsoka is coming out on August 23rd, and I am ready to weigh in because it is the trial of Dave Filoni, and it is the trial of Star Wars. Can Star Wars be saved? Because it certainly needs saving. I think that we could all agree on that. So the headline here is Legendary Star Wars Studio abruptly closed, franchise in trouble. What does that mean? Let's look into the details. Let's offer a little bit of analysis and see what we think is going to go down. The Walt Disney Company has suddenly closed a decades-old Star Wars production studio, potentially laying off hundreds of longtime employees and throwing the future of the franchise in doubt. And just a little update here. After this report actually came out, just a few hours later, it was confirmed that over 300 different people have lost their jobs. And I don't care what the state of Star Wars is. That's sad. When Disney bought Lucasfilm over 10 years ago for the staggering sum of $4.05 billion, it took control of the incredible valuable Star Wars and Indiana Jones properties, no doubt expecting to recoup its investment in short measure. While the J.J. Abrams-led sequel trilogy and the Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian, were huge successes at the box office and in terms of Grogu merchandise sold. Sorry guys, got to break in here again. This article is actually dead wrong. The Force Awakens was a box office smash success. The others were not. The others cost a fortune to make, and they did not perform all that well. As a matter of fact, The Last Jedi basically killed Star Wars. The Industrial Light and Magic, or ILM, VFX and animation studio in Singapore was opened in 2004 to develop Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and has been a vital part of Lucasfilm ever since. However, according to Deadline, the studio has been abruptly shut down by Disney, with the company making the official statement that it is consolidating its global footprint and winding down its Singapore studio due to economic factors affecting the industry. Disney is closing down the iconic Sandcrawler ILM building in Singapore and has said it will make efforts to relocate the 340 ILM employees that work there, saying it will give employees as much notice as possible and offer opportunities to relocate to one of the company's growing studios. In addition to the Clone Wars, ILM Singapore also worked on incredibly significant Disney-owned films like Iron Man and The Avengers. It appears that Disney is pulling back hard from the franchise, shutting down the Galactic Starcruiser at Walt Disney World at the cost of an estimated $250 billion. At the same time, while Lucasfilm is preparing to roll out a number of Disney Plus series like the Rosario Dawson-led Ahsoka and the upcoming The Acolyte, announced plans for Star Wars feature films by Taika Waititi and Patty Jenkins appear to have ground to a halt. Considering that Disney is in cost-cutting mode everywhere from Marvel to Disney Parks to Indiana Jones, the future of Star Wars is starting to look a bit shaky. You don't say. Of course, the future of Star Wars is looking shaky. What we're seeing happening right now at Lucasfilm is exactly what we've been predicting now for years. And here's the problem with it. Who owns this problem? Who is the cause of this problem? It's not the fans. It is Lucasfilm themselves. Because honestly, guys, they have not delivered the type of Star Wars that the fans demand. They just haven't. Do I want Star Wars to be successful? Absolutely. But not with what they've given us now. It's not everything you release is successful. Everything that has Star Wars on it is a hit. Those days are over. Those days are gone with George Lucas. If Disney wants to revive Star Wars, if Disney wants to actually use their cash register, their cash money-making machine, then you have to make Star Wars that the fans identify with. Keep Disney woke politics and agenda out of Star Wars. It does not belong. Stop competing with George Lucas's Star Wars. Stop trying to be bigger and better than Starkiller Base, the big super four-legged walkers that were better than the AT-ATs. Look at Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Rey is all of the Jedi. That still makes me want to throw up. I know I'm coming across sounding very, disturbed by Star Wars. This is a Star Wars channel, and here's the host talking about Star Wars like this, and that's because of what Disney has done. That's the state that we're in. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to watch Ahsoka on August 23rd, and it's going to be what it is. We finally get to find out what can Dave Filoni do in live action by himself. There's nowhere to hide, Dave. This is your show. If it's a success and you are worthy, then I think that a lot of the fan base will get behind you. That'll be great. But if it bombs, if it's not what Star Wars should be, if you can't live up to the fan expectations, man, oh man, stay off the internet. Our video that came out yesterday covering George Lucas and how many times the Ahsoka featurette is mentioning Lucas, they're really evoking George Lucas and all their things. And I looked at all of your comments and I hearted them all and I replied to many of them. And I heart comments whether I agree with them or not. I heart it just because thank you for engaging. I really appreciate you sharing your opinion. That's why. But when I'm looking at the comments, man, people are all over the place. And it seems that the majority of our audience here are very unhappy and disgruntled. And you have no anticipation or no expectation that this show is going to be good, definitely not great, and you basically have no hope. And I want to tell you, I totally understand that, and you are quite justified in that thinking. But we're going into uncharted territory. We're going into deeper waters that we've never been in before. And the thing is, think about the closure of this VFX studio. The same studio that brought us the Clone Wars. Man, that's a huge indication that Star Wars is sick. They are hurting. They are struggling. And if Ahsoka doesn't pick up the slack, anticipate more closures. Anticipate more financial issues. Anticipate more canceled projects. It's definitely going to happen. And to that I say good. If that's what happens, good, because they need to be fixed one way or another, whether they ultimately fail and have to sell Star Wars, or if they get their crap together and actually give us the Star Wars that we demand, love, and want. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for being here at Echo Base Network. As we always say, we are, you are Echo Base Network. Make sure to come by our Thursday night chill stream and our Saturday night live Star Wars show. We'll see you then.